At the chat. So, okay, we've got 4 people that are tuned in. Well, I'll go ahead and start discussing the events that I had planned to. Um, yeah, so very glad that, like I said, I'm not up north dealing with that cold winter weather, or worse yet, out west. Over 10,000 buildings have been destroyed in the wildfires, and definitely not good to be in California right now. I mean, they have California is prone to earthquakes and wildfires in general, but 10,000 buildings, that's an awful lot. Of course, I'm sure they're insured. Well, those that didn't have their insurance policies canceled the last several months are insured. And I'm sure the celebrities are, so I don't really feel bad about the celebrities, but the everyday people out there, I definitely, my heart goes out to them. Not, not fun at all. And so, in case you haven't heard, the Supreme Court has reached a decision with Trump. They've rejected his bid to delay sentencing in his New York hush money case, but sentencing took place this morning, and no punishment was imposed by the judge. So he'll be all set to take office on the 20th of January. So, and also yesterday at Jimmy Carter's funeral, did anybody notice that Michelle Obama was not there? Of course, it was highly publicized that Trump and Obama were talking, but nope, former First Lady Michelle Obama was not present. But I could clearly see Hillary and Laura Bush, and I didn't recognize George W. Bush. It was only because of where Laura was that I realized that that was George W. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And also, one more piece of information with politics. There was a thing that came out this morning that with just 10 days left in his term, Biden is set to leave office with the lowest approval ratings in recent history. Some outlets are comparing his approval ratings to Nixon during the Watergate scandal. But Southwest Airlines, their Chief Financial Officer, Tammy Romo, is set to retire on April 1st. She's been with the company for 33 years. Long time to be with any employer. But of course, Southwest is in the midst of kind of doing a turnaround with the airline right now. But their issues don't seem to be nearly as much as some of the other airlines right now. Of course, who could forget? I always like to bring this up: the holiday fiasco that they had back in 2022. The U.S. added 256,000 jobs in December, and unemployment dipped 4.1%. That's the official statistics that came out today. I honestly don't know that I believe that, but that's what the official statistics are. And of course, this also comes when Big Lots is closing most of their stores. Fortunately, some are going to stay open in the Southeast. There's also a lot of reports that Joann Fabrics is closing 800 locations. And that follows Party City's announcement that, their closures. Although USA Today reported some stores are banding together to stay open. If you look that up, Party City and USA Today, you can read the article on that. Also, some information. I don't know why this popped up as a possible item of interest to me, but I figured I would share it today. Is the states that have no property taxes, and that is Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, which doesn't tax earned wages but does tax investment earnings. South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming are states with no property taxes, and no sales taxes are Alaska, Delaware, Montana, and New Hampshire, along with Oregon. Now, according to another poll that I read, Hawaii actually ranks as the #1 state for happiness in the country. Now, I was kind of surprised to find that out because Hawaii historically has the highest cost of living out of all the states, and even Alaska, which a lot of you probably know Alaska has a high cost of living, but of course in Hawaii, they're out there in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Everything has to arrive either by boat or by plane. And but apparently they are the happiest state to live in. Now, the most expensive state in the lower 48 is not California, and it's not New York, and those would have been my first picks. The most expensive state to live in the lower 48 is Massachusetts. Now, the Northeast has very high cost of living anyways, as does the whole Pacific coast. But the cheapest state overall is Mississippi, and the next cheapest is Iowa. Um, that's kind of makes sense with Iowa. They're right in the middle of the country. My understanding is that there's a lot of manufacturing in the Midwest. So, in theory, it would seem that there's less transportation costs to transport goods and whatnot. But it's also got a lot of cornfields, and also a guy from Iowa, Bill, regularly checks in and comments, and hopefully it'd be nice to see him or see somebody else start talking with me here in the comments. Let's see, how long have we been on? Oh, my timer's. Oh, I don't know where my timer is. Oh, I had to put my glasses back on. Oh, right there. We started at 1:55, it looks like, so we've been broadcasting for about 10 minutes. And so, what do you think about Trump's proposal to rename the Gulf of Mexico and buy Greenland? A Canadian lawmaker, after he made a comment about Canada becoming the 51st state, the Canadian lawmaker suggested California and Oregon and Washington state join Canada as their new provinces. So I was thinking, if Canada wants the west coast of the US can still remain 50 states by making Washington, D.C. a state, by making Puerto Rico a state, and take over Greenland like Trump wants to, buy Greenland, make Greenland a state. Or we've also got Guam, which doesn't ever seem to be in the news much as well. So, the US could easily still remain 50 states. I mean, I think the odds that that's going to happen are slim to none, but I just kind of an interesting thought I had. Oh my goodness. So now in continuing to test this stream out, because like I say, in case you're just joining, this is only the second one of these type broadcasts I've ever done, and total test. And when I watch afterwards, I'm going to check on the audio and see what I can do to hopefully make this better for future broadcasts. And if you want to join, please feel free to chime in and comment at any time. But I tried sharing some of these facts last time, and that I'm going to go ahead and mention now, just because last time the audio did not work very good. But I did want to mention this too, in case people didn't know. Ford is recalling, the 300,000 F-Series pickup trucks and some of the medium-duty trucks as well. The Ford Super Duty F-250, 350, 450, 550 from the 2020 to the 2022 model year, and the 2021 to the 2022 F-650 and 750. And those trucks are like, fire trucks, U-Hauls, big box trucks, use the 650 and 750 chassis. So you'll either get a letter in the mail in the coming weeks, or look your vehicle up on the NHTSA website, or probably just simply call your local Ford dealer, or drop by if you live close to one or are going to be near one. Yeah, so I made a list of jobs that are likely forecast to go out in the next 5 to 10 years are likely to become a thing of the past. And let's see, data entry clerks are at the top of that list because of the advancements in AI and automated data processing. Telemarketers, which, I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that telemarketers are even still around because I have yet to meet anybody that actually likes getting telemarketing calls. And I know for me, whenever I get a spam call, I block that number from being able to call me again. Travel agents, I'm surprised there's any travel agents still around, thanks to websites like Priceline and Booking.com and all them that there's quite a few of them that you can book on and save money and cut out the middleman, so to speak. Um, Bank tellers are another one on this list because of the increased availability to do stuff on ATMs. Um, I know where I live, the ATM, you really can't do much. It's pretty basic. You could make a deposit, you can withdraw cash, but that's about it. Um, Printing press operators, you know, yeah, I would definitely agree that there's a lot less press printed now than there was several years ago, which in a lot of ways is a bummer because, you know, I like reading train magazines and, you know, used to read the newspaper occasionally, didn't ever subscribe to it, but, it's all available online. So, you know, why why spend the money buying the print version for the most part, unless it's a special magazine or something. And of course, the way things are with the mainstream media these days, I don't know many people that actually will watch the news anymore. I usually watch it in the morning a little bit, but that's about it. And that's only during the week because I like to find out basically what happened during the overnight here where I live in the area. Retail cashiers. Now, this one I don't agree with totally because there was a major push for the self checkout. All major retail stores had self checkout. They were really encouraging for it. Where I lived in Maine in 2005 was when the self checkout first started showing up. Um, but over the past couple of years, there's been a serious increase in organized retail crime, and the self checkout provided a gateway for that. So a lot of stores have dropped the self checkout altogether. Like I know the Dollar Generals in the area that I live, you can't go to a self checkout anymore. They're still there in the store, sitting there, but you can't use them. And I've heard that in some places, some of the bigger retail stores have self checkouts, but you're limited to 10 items or less to be able to use them. So, in one regard, I mean, it'd be good to keep some jobs out there for the cashiers. But on the other hand, it is anything but fun when you've only got a few items and you're stuck in a long line waiting for people. And, some people just love to talk. Um, Taxi drivers is another one. I don't know that we have any actual taxi services here in Pensacola. I mean, I think I might have seen one taxi the whole time I've lived here, but it was not from a local one. It was from out of the area. And otherwise, we've got, Uber, um, Lyft, and RideSource, which I understand RideSource, I guess, bought out the taxi services. I mean, I haven't looked into the facts on that or not, but I do see a lot of RideSources out there driving around. Let's see, postal service workers is another one that's on this list. And I believe stamps are supposed to go up this year too. I don't remember just how much, but last I heard, I think it was like 71 cents for a stamp, something like that. Though I don't mail too much stuff, and of course I wouldn't be able to afford to if it's almost $1 a letter to mail stuff. Um, let's see, assembly line workers is on the list. Call center representatives. It's impossible to speak to a person. It seems like a lot of times when you have to call, tech support or whatever company that has a number that you can supposedly call for assistance. I mean, for a number of years it went overseas, and it was hard to understand people with accents. It is for me. I'm not picking on anybody here, but trying to actually get a live person, period, is like an act of Congress these days. It is beyond difficult. And okay, now these facts here, I shared these all on the last broadcast, but they do not have good audio, and hopefully, the computer is indicating that I have good audio today, and hopefully it's not uh, just gaslighting me that that's the case. Um, let's see, penicillin was discovered by accident in 1928 when a guy named Alexandria Fleming left out some bacteria cultures, and mold killed them. Microwave ovens. Uh, a man noticed a candy bar melted in his pocket while he was working with radar technology, and that led to the invention of the microwave. And Velcro. Trying to think when the last time I used Velcro was. When was the last time you used Velcro? Well, please share me in the comments. I'm not, and if anybody has chatting, I'm not getting any comments, which I don't understand why I'm not getting any comments. But of course, my other computer over here just went dark on me. Yeah, Velcro. It was designed by a Swiss engineer, Georges de Mestral. He got the idea after burrs stuck to his clothes after his clothes and his dog's fur after they went for a walk. And thus Velcro was born. And now I've heard this story before too, even before I was putting stuff together uh, for the last broadcast. Uh, the potato chips was the result of after a frustrated customer was complaining about thick fries. So the chef sliced them very thinly and fried them to a crisp, and accidentally created one of the most popular snacks in history. Post-it notes was resulted in trying to create a strong adhesive, but ended up with one that was stuck lightly and could be repositioned. And of course, Coca-Cola started out as a tonic when pharmacists accidentally mixed cocoa leaf extract with carbonated water. And I believe Pepsi and Dr. Pepper also started out as medicines as well. And of course, those Slinkies, fun for a girl and a boy, was trying to develop springs to stabilize instruments, and one fell, and it wound up like walking down a flight of stairs. And thus, we had the Slinky. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm still working on these broadcasts. I've got some ideas for future shows. So I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't, and come back. And I was hoping that folks would join me in the chat, and we'll be able to talk about different things going on in the world. And but it doesn't appear that anybody has, and we've been broadcasting for, let's see, it's about 1:55. Oh, I'll tell you what, maybe if we stay on another 5 minutes, make it a full half-hour broadcast. Something totally different. How about that? Maybe then somebody will, there, Seaboard System, how are you? I was hoping that you'd find me and get to talking. How are things up in North Carolina today? Oh, yes. And when I was talking about the Southwest there a minute ago, I meant to show this video too. I filmed of the a plane that their Arizona plane, but it doesn't seem that it wants to cooperate for me and play now. So, yeah, that's okay. We'll just stay the way that it is. Hopefully, I get that issue fixed there for the next time. Uh, yeah, I bet. I see the radar on the news earlier, and it was showing that northern Alabama northward had snow. And I was just thinking, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I'm not there. The whole state of Tennessee was covered in snow on that radar. And it's like, I don't associate snow with Tennessee typically, but as I recall last year, I believe wasn't the whole state under a state of emergency at one point? Of course, I don't think of Florida as being a cold weather state, and it's been in the 20s here for our lows the last several days, and warmed up. It's quite wet out there today. Oh, I'm doing good, thanks. Hoping that my experiment is working. How's my audio sounding? But regardless of the weather that we're having here on the east, I'm so glad we're not out in California where those fires are taking place. I do not do good with smoke myself. I mean, I've had to go to the doctors before getting the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. Yeah, good question. I know a few weeks ago when it dipped to being really cold, the Keys was down to 75, and which I thought was kind of cool for them, but good. I'm glad you're able to hear me good because I've been just kind of actually using my microphone from my headphones. Actually, is what I'm using here. I got that because the microphone on the phone and the computer just don't work good for the studio broadcasts, as I found out before. But when I'm out in the field, it's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes people can hear me good on the when I'm just using the phone, and other times not so much. So, also for anybody that likes racing, local racing, there's been signs up that the awards banquet for the Five Flags Speedway is going to be tomorrow night, and of course the Snowball Derby is the big event that takes place every December down here. Brings in a lot of people from all over the country, and you can actually watch it on, I believe it's Flow Racing's YouTube channel. They put the broadcast up for free, which is pretty cool. I drive by that racetrack fairly often, and I haven't ever been there. And of course, I wouldn't try to go to something like that myself because I don't like being around a lot of people in general, especially not that many people. But still pretty cool to see from the local racetrack. But yeah, I wouldn't have ever thought that either. But it was like, wow, that probably would have been the best time for a lot of us to have gone to the Keys because that would have been about right for most of us. But for them, that's probably like, what it's like in the 20s for me here in Northwest Florida. But having lived in Maine for as long as I did, I don't miss that cold snow winter weather a bit. So, Seaboard, what do you think about the Gulf of Mexico potentially being renamed the Gulf of America? I mean, I kind of think it has a nice ring to it, but that's definitely not something that I would have ever thought of any politician, period, wanting to rename it with everything else going on in the world. But I saw a thing that Charles Schumer was quoted as saying something to the effect of they'd be willing to vote to change the name with if they did something else. I didn't read the whole article, but I was like, hmm. So if we got the Democrats are on board with this too, okay. Nice to know our politicians are working for us. But it does have a nice ring to it, I think. And please let me know what you think in the comments. So, as well. Hey, look at that. We made it to a full half hour. And 23 of you have stayed with me. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. And hopefully, next time this time we got the audio fixed, I would say. Thanks to Seaboy letting me know. And hopefully, for in the future, I'll be able to get the video thing fixed and see if I can get that to play while we're actually live. It played for me when I was testing it out, so I don't know what its problem is now. But I'm afraid if I play around with it too much, it's just going to completely mess everything up. So we're gaining, I guess. And I appreciate everybody that has taken the time to check this out. And hopefully, in the future, will join me. I don't know if I'll be going live this weekend or not. I'd like to, but I got some other things going on. Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. It's good weather to take a nap. I actually got to sleep in a little bit this morning, which was nice. So, you know, but we've got some nice weather coming this weekend here. I hope everybody else does as well. Hopefully they get those fires under control out west too. Uh, Look at that, 637 views so far that I've got. Awesome. I really appreciate that, everybody. Thank you. Yes, I'm glad you got to join too. Give me somebody to talk to. But I guess I've got a bit of a trivia question though for everybody now that I'm thinking of it. Have everybody ever thought about why the sky is blue and why it's not green or orange or red or gray? Well, of course it's gray some days anyways, like today when it's raining. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you were able to join us. Did you hear earlier when I was talking about Iowa on the new list of states that for the cost of living, that Iowa is actually the number two cheapest cost of living state, number two only to Mississippi? I haven't ever been to Iowa. I've been to Mississippi, and it does seem like a poor state in a lot of areas. But overall, I like Mississippi, though. Oh, mail carrier out delivering today. Yeah, I was just curious. Does anybody remember? I don't remember when George H.W. Bush died, or when Gerald Ford died, or Ronald Reagan, a national day of mourning that shut down the postal service and banks. Uh, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. I just don't remember that it did. So I was kind of surprised that so much shut down yesterday when for Jimmy Carter when it didn't shut down for the other former presidents. But I just don't remember it. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Let's see, where are we now? Okay, right up there. There's my timer. Didn't see it. Okay, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this broadcast up. I appreciate everybody joining me, and hopefully next time we'll be a little bit better. And in the meantime, drop me a comment. Let me know what stories you'd like me to cover on the news part of the the video, and hopefully we can get a pretty good community developed. Oh, wow. Yeah, that does not sound good. I know here the electric rates are going up. I actually did with one of the AI news people made a video of commentary on electric rates going up because I just don't see how they can justify it when they're making billions of dollars in net profits and yet they still raise the rates. That just don't make any sense. I don't think that's right. I don't, I think it's a public utility. They serve the public like public works per se, or the police or something. I don't think that's right. They keep making these record profits and turn around and keep raising the rates, and then turn around and donate big sums of money to different organizations. I don't see the justification in that. I mean, donating to different organizations is a nice gesture, but I'd rather my bill went down, honestly, and leave it up to the individuals that might be able to donate money on their own if their power bill weren't so high. But that's just my opinion on that. But anyways, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I am going to go ahead and wrap up this time if this computer will cooperate. And hope everybody has a good weekend. And if I do go live this weekend, I hope you'll join me. Um, Bill and Seaboard, it was great to talk with both of you. And hope everybody